Hey, I thought I'd do a little video walk around of the used frame that I have for sale. This is a manual transmission frame. 1982 DeLorean is mine. And if it means anything, it's got about 67,000 miles on it. So you see that there's some kind of like splotches right here. This is where a couple years ago I did some epoxy kind of rust mitigation with POR 15. I didn't do a real clean job because I knew the frame would be coming out pretty soon, but I wanted to make sure it didn't get any worse than it already was. So that's spots where, as you can see, the epoxy had cracked and peeled. So I chipped it back until it was solid again and sanded it and did the 3-step POR 15 process. So as you kind of go around, you're going to see, a lot of this kind of splotchy stuff like that. But generally, wherever you see it, the metal is solid. There's also a lot of like black spots like this. This is that undercoating that was sprayed onto many of the 82, like late 81, 82 DeLoreans. As they were sitting at the dock waiting to be shipped to the US, the chassis started to get some surface rust on it. So they sprayed it with this undercoating while it was still in the dock area. So that's why they're like black, almost like black paint. It's kind of like a rubberized stuff, but it peels off once you get like a screwdriver under it. So the front frame extension is overall pretty good. It looks like it has had a couple of repairs on it, where I guess there's one on this side, but not on this side. You can see someone welded a plate on there. Threads are good for the sway extension. Shock towers are fine. Now, probably the worst part of the frame, and you can see through there is a hole in the middle part of the cross member where a floor jack went through it. So that bottom plate, the bottom plate of the cross member, this can be cut off and a new plate attached. In fact, the new frame that I have now has a stainless steel plate under it that's much thicker, so you actually can jack from it. And here you see just more of the undercoating kind of got sprayed up there. I suppose wherever the wand was able to reach, they sprayed it. Trailing arm mounts are perfectly fine. No issues here. And of course, anybody who buys this, you're going to be refinishing the frame. Don't kid yourself. You're going to sandblast it or dip it and in a chemical to strip it off and weld up any holes there are. So there's a hole here, and this is where the water pipe stay goes. So you've got a passenger side water pipe that comes up right here, and it attaches, it's supposed to attach here. And the metal got weak and is cracked, so it needs a little patch there. In addition, underneath here, it's a little weak. There's some kind of a cracked, not cracked, but just kind of wore through here. Oop. Yeah, you can see needs some repair here in that triangular spot. And again, I had put POR 15, all over it just to keep it from getting any worse. Rear tower's fine. Not quite sure what could have happened here, but easy fix. The nice thing about this frame is that it is straight as an arrow. It will align perfectly fine. In fact, last time I had it aligned, I had my suspension aligned to the shop, was surprised how close everything was. As I said, manual transmission. Here's a couple of the square nuts that, like, you know, they go here for the body bolts. Gas tank area. Not bad. Solid. There's a little bit of peeling right around here, but the metal is solid. See, the epoxy is just like bubbled and loose from brake master cylinder, I'm sure. Yep. Here's the driver's side. Yeah, you're gonna see kind of all along the seam. This all needs to be, you know, kind of cleaned up, and yeah, that's where the epoxy has split, right? So it's not like the metal has split. The metal's fine, but the epoxy's loose. Trailing arm mount is good. Another spot where I've got some Por 15 on it. You can see the metal, like one layer of the metal has corroded. The inner part is still good. And very similar to the other side, there is a hole here. So you got two holes for the fuel filter and then a hole right there. Very strange that it formed holes in the same spot, opposite sides. And again, kind of the same thing. That triangular spot right here is needing repair. Yeah. Engine cradle is good. A little bit of flaky epoxy there, but that's where the bolt, the bolt goes through. Is it? Nah, no. See, it's just probably some Por 15 actually come off. Kind of hard to get it in there. And you know, the metal's solid, but you know, epoxy coming off. No problems in here. It looks like in the past somebody had put like another one of these like metal plates here. I don't know if it was to reinforce it or if they did have a little corrosion. But there's a plate here. And a plate here. Certainly it was done with the body on the frame. You could easily do probably a better job with the frame out. So anyway, there you have it. Trying to go over and show you all the bad spots on this frame. Overall, I think it is very repairable. Unfortunately, welding and all the machine work and stuff is not my forte. I like wrenching on stuff. I don't really like refinishing stuff. So I bought a refinished frame from somebody else, swapped it in. Took about 5 weeks, which was a lot faster, I imagine, than if I were to pay someone else to refinish this. So anyway, hope this answers all your questions. Happy to answer more questions if I can. Thanks.